So excited to be here, you guys. How many people here are married? Round of applause. Wow. I think that was seriously everyone in the crowd. Okay. All my single stuff just got chucked. Anyway, I am married, and have you ever had your spouse give you like a suggestion that you kind of thought was going to be nice, and then it hurt your feelings in the end? Yeah, that happened before this show. So my wife said, you know, when you get up there, you should make fun of yourself. You know, something weird about yourself. It's like, what? What do you think I should talk about then? Like, what's weird about me? Like, what? She said, oh, I've got a list somewhere. I should go. I said, don't go get the list. I don't want to know what. She said, well, I don't need a list for the main one. I would probably just make fun of your forehead. What? What's wrong with my forehead? She said, well, it's just real big, and with the stage lights, that's probably all they're going to be thinking about is your forehead. So I didn't want to start that way, because if I do, my whole set, you're just going to be looking at me going, you know, she really has a point. Would you look at it? It's like an inch too high all the way across. So, you know, she actually got me so paranoid, I went to see one of these hair restoration specialist guys. Don't go do it. It was terrible. The whole time I'm there, like, he looked at my hairline, and then the whole time I'm there, he's just trying to convince me that with my hairline where it is, my life isn't worth living. Well, he came out in a little white lab coat, and I was excited because I thought, sweet, this guy's a doctor. He wasn't a doctor, which is pretty awkward because I'd taken my pants off. Yeah. Have you tried to casually put your pants back on? It's pretty rough. I wouldn't do it. Just leave your pants off. I mean, hopefully your pants are on right now, but just, if they're off, leave them off. Little tangent, I'll stop. Anyway, so he did a little hair examination, you know, and he's wafting through my hair with a little magic wand thing. Then he got done and he said, yeah, well, it's moving north. You're losing your hair. He said, like, no, duh. I said, duh. I don't know why you're thinking, like, did he swear? No, I said, no, duh. I really did. And then he could see I was worked up, and he said, like, look, we can fix it, though. I said, oh, sweet. I go, what can we do? I go, all right, here's what we're going to do. We take hair from other parts of your body, put it on your forehead. Where exactly is this hair going to come from? There's certain hair that it's not going to look right up here. You know what I mean? A certain clump of hair right here is going to be very off-putting to everyone I come in contact with. It just doesn't have the right texture. You know what I mean? It's just not going to... I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I could use my wife's hair straightener, but I could. I mean, I didn't. But I could. Because she wouldn't know. So this whole thing is not sounding great. Like, I'm kind of scared. But I asked him anyway, like, how much is this going to cost to fix my messed up head? Several $1,000s to fix what's going on up here. Yeah, I know. But I went home, and I told my wife anyway. I said, look, fix my forehead situation, several $1,000s. So she thought about it for a few minutes, and then she said, I'd rather have new kitchen countertops. So that's what we got, and she's real happy. So I'm actually married, and I have 3 daughters. So I live with a bunch of women, which is wonderful. Yeah, big round of applause. And, you know, I have learned a lot living with women. Like, I've learned that you should not judge a woman based on the shape of her body. Right? Yeah. Right. She should be judged based on her eyebrows, okay? I've learned a lot of stuff. Now, this is just going to be like a little mini TED Talk for the guys, because the weird thing is this stuff is true when it really works. I just want to share a few things. Okay, if you see somebody and they've had to draw in just a little bit of their eyebrow, they're just a little bit unstable, okay? A tiny bit. Like, nothing bad is going to happen, probably. But just be careful, all right? Yeah, now if you've seen somebody and they've drawn in both eyebrows all the way, okay, they're crazy. Just, seriously, you need to know where your exits are at all times, and, because she can turn on a dime, and just, it can get, oh, I see some of you right now are doing this. You're like, hey, what's going on? This is now not the time. Don't check on, are you insane? I'm up here. Several people have drawn in eyebrows from where I'm standing, okay? I'm looking in this area over here. Just, take it easy. Now, you also might see asymmetrical eyebrows. You'll go the left and the right don't match exactly. I mean, they're close, but they're just not quite right. All right, well, it's that time of the month, okay? So just give them a few days and it'll straighten out. Trust me, I've been living with women for a long time. It does, it fixes itself. Let's see, oh, the shifted eyebrow. Have you guys seen these where the eyebrow, it should be here, but it's actually over here? Yeah, they shifted. Now, they're having a hard time dealing with reality, right? Well, obviously, because their eye is here, but they think it's over here. But it's not. Let's see. Oh, the big full eyebrow. Like, very full. Almost unibrow. Like a lot yeah. They're physically very strong. Very strong. So if you need to move a piano, those are the kind of eyebrows you want to have, all right? Right? Some of you are like, yeah, that's true. I actually know that. Is it? And then the last thing is the eyebrows that are completely out of control. It's like this person did not look in a mirror. Like they're curling and they're coming out at you and then they're like climbing a wall like a vine or something. Like you really don't want to stand close to them because it's that repulsive. Okay, that's a man. Yeah. It is. And I know there's a few of you out there going like, wait a minute, but what about, it's a man. Okay. The eyebrows don't lie, not at all. So I've actually been married for over 25 years. Thank you. And in that time, I've kind of seen how in the beginning we had kind of a husband-wife relationship, and then over time it kind of turns into this parent-child relationship. Has anybody else had that happen? I mean, like an example is we were in the grocery store, me and my wife. We were walking down the ice cream aisle, okay? And I stop and I see this cookie dough ice cream. And I want it. So I grab it and I get it out of the little thing, and my wife says, put that back. You don't even like that. I'm not a moron. I think I would know what kind of ice cream I like. Put it back. So we start to have this little discussion in the aisle, all right? The only other kids in the aisle was a 6-year-old kid and his mom having the exact same argument that we're having. And the kid is using the same arguments that I'm using. It is... He's like, one, my friends get to have ice cream. I'm like, you are right. And then 2, you get to buy whatever you want. That's true. It's a smart kid. Final, you're not my real mom. That one got a little weird when I said it. Yeah. My wife is like, you're working too much. Anyway, so you guys, I actually won and I got the ice cream. So I know. I was so excited. So I got home, made this big bowl of ice cream, and as I started to eat it, that's when I realized that I don't like this kind of ice cream. Can you believe it? Like, she tricked me into getting it somehow. But so I finished the whole bowl. Because when you've been married as long as I have, that's when you realize this is a competition, okay? And she's killing me. I'm not gonna give in. I'm not gonna let her know she was right and I hate it. I'm gonna eat it and then be sick to my stomach, okay? That's how I do it. Yeah, so, when I was dating, everybody gave me advice and they said, hey, you should find the best, most amazing person ever and you should marry them, okay? So I felt like I did that. Really, my wife's wonderful, amazing, awesome. And it's been amazing. She's not here right now, so I'm gonna say this. But the only thing is that when you marry somebody that great, you're gonna be the second favorite parent in the house, okay? I just wanna give some advice to anybody who's single out there, okay? Maybe think outside the box, okay? Everybody says find a wonderful, amazing person. Maybe think about it this way. Find the most awful, terrible person you can find and then marry them, right? Because you will be the favorite parent in the house, right? Now look, let's face it. Most marriages end in divorce, okay? Especially yours, because you married a terrible person. But when it does, you are gonna be so excited because you're the favorite parent now. Yeah. Look, sometimes you have to lose in order to win, okay? Let's say, like, if you could pick your competitor in a race, think about it that way. Are you gonna pick some super fast guy? No. You're gonna pick the guy with 2 hip replacements and a bum knee. That's who you're gonna pick. Yeah, anyway, just some advice. I'm not a marriage counselor, so, so my wife, she's gluten-free. She doesn't have celiac disease, she just aspires to have it. Yeah. All of you are like, oh, I someone just like that. Yeah. And it gets dicey when we have date night because sometimes, we get the gluten-free menus and sometimes the waiter will stop and he'll like, oh, is that because you guys are both celiac? No, we just like to pretend that we are. And sometimes he'll pause, and when he pauses, that's when I know, oh, he's gonna spit in our food. I know he's gonna spit. But saliva is gluten-free, so it's fine. Somehow my wife, she's making us gluten-free in our whole house, and I haven't consented to this. Shouldn't I have to consent to this? Like, I don't know what gluten looks like, but all I know is everything tastes bad now. The bread doesn't stay together. Like, she makes this gluten-free bread, and if you touch it, it just disintegrates and turns to sand. Have you guys... It tastes terrible. I don't know. Like, we don't have rice anymore. We have cauliflower rice. You guys want to know what cauliflower rice is? Besides an abomination? It's little pieces of cauliflower that you lie and say it's rice, okay? Yeah, it doesn't taste good either. But I did get my wife back. It was kind of fun. So one of her friends was getting married, and she asked my wife to help out with some stuff. She was pretty stressed out, and she gave me one job. One of those times like, I gave you one thing to do, and you screwed that up. And you're like, yeah, maybe. But so she said, look, we have to get the little bags of rice together so that at the end of the wedding, they can, like, throw it. Yeah. You guys see where I'm going with this? Yeah, I'm thinking in my head, okay, in my head, rice equals cauliflower. And I'm a comedian, and I'm trying, I don't know. But anyway, so I got these little pieces of cauliflower and I put them in all the bags. Okay, they didn't think it was funny when I laughed so hard when I was putting them in the boxes and bags, but didn't go over well. My wife was pretty ticked. But I will say that a cauliflower, you can really huck it. Like, you can And it does leave a mark. I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, so for my day job, I'm a lawyer. Hold your applause until the end. Like, I don't like to... It's always the crowd favorite. Like, ooh, we liked him until now. Let's kill him after. You know, and in law school, they said, you know, as a lawyer, you'll be able to help people. And I guess by people, they meant large corporations, because I don't really see people that much. I mean, look at me, I'm a weirdo. I don't ever talk to people. No, look, everybody relax. I'm a patent lawyer, which means I don't know how to do anything, really. I'm worthless. Like, a patent lawyer is a lawyer in the same sense that a mall cop is a cop. Yeah, it is. So I'm the mall cop of lawyers. Like, I mean, I decided to go to law school when my dad told me I wanted to be a lawyer. Yeah. He's been real happy with the whole situation. So my dad taught 8th grade U.S. history, and he sat me down once and he said, look, son, I haven't been able to make a lot of money in my life, but I have been able to help a lot of people. And helping people doesn't pay well. So, lawyer it was. I mean, look, I get, you have to wonder about lawyers, right? You become a carpenter, it's because you like wood. You become a mechanic, it's because you like cars and engines. If you become a lawyer, you like to argue with people and make them sad. We don't even care what we're arguing about. We really don't. You can come in and say, will you argue for this? And we're like, sure. Oh, just kidding. We meant against it. And we're like, yeah, no problem. Yeah. That's because our morals are flexible. So whatever morals we do have, there are a lot of bendy situations there. Oh, and you know how in TV shows and movies, when a lawyer gets a new client, they always pull them aside and they say, hey, you have to tell me if you did it. See that? We don't care. Don't tell anyone, but we don't ask him that. We never ask him that. That's a dumb question. Why would you ask him that? No, we don't really ask anything, really. I mean, they come in and we're ready to get, well, we ask one thing, and that's, how much money do you have? I know, you're nodding your head. It's true. It's like the amount of money seems to make us more creative in arguments, and we can just really put some good stuff together. It's now, when the money runs out, we should probably settle. We really should. I think, let's be honest, this is a dumb lawsuit. We only filed it because you had money. But now that it's gone, I'm really, really honest, and this is dumb. We should get rid of it. So, I just want to remind you guys I'm a patent lawyer, so I don't know anything that I was just talking about. I made all that up. Yes. Yeah. I watch a lot of TV shows. Yeah. But even though I'm a patent lawyer and I'm harmless, I still have people give me a hard time about being a lawyer. And it happens at church a lot. I'm not joking, it really does. Like, I'll always have somebody walk up to me and they'll say, Wes, are you a lawyer? I'm like, oh, man. Yes. They'll say, oh, in the Bible, lawyers were the ones that were always trying to trick Jesus. We weren't trying to trick him. We were just asking him if he knew anybody that had been involved in an accident. Because, yeah. Huh? Some of you are like, oh, yeah, no. See, now we have ambulances. If we want to get legal work, you just follow the sirens and you can get legal work. It's pretty easy. Back then, no ambulances, okay? But if you followed Jesus around, I mean, everywhere he went, like, people were blind and broken backs and lame and like lots of, I'm just saying, if you followed him around, there's a treasure trove of legal work that had to be done. So that's what we're doing. I mean, I'm not Yeah, I am that old. I was there, and that's what we did. That's what we did. No, so that was his takeaway from the Bible. Look, I've read the Bible, okay? Okay, I haven't. You guys, have you seen that book? It is like this thick, okay? And the pages are somehow made out of air. You can read in that book for a month and your bookmark does not move. If I'm being real honest, I don't even know if it's in English because I've read a page and then my wife will be like, well, tell us what you read. I'm like, what? Anyway, so I'm just saying, it's a tricky book. It's a tricky book. Anyway, but yeah, his takeaway was that in the Bible, lawyers are trying to trick Jesus. Look, my takeaway from the Bible is this. You should never represent yourself. Okay, take it. No, I'm just saying, Jesus should have had a lawyer. They were there. Everybody says we were there. Like, why didn't he have one? Look, not a patent lawyer. No, someone that can help. I mean, patent lawyer would have been like, no, get out. No. Yeah. Anyway, so as a patent lawyer, I work with people who've invented things, right? So it's pretty stressful, actually, because when someone has invented something, that invention, it's like their new baby. Have you ever tried to tell someone that their baby's ugly? It is not easy. They come in there with something really weird. Let's say, I don't know, the clap-off bra, for example. This is a real invention, and it's a real patent. I'm not making it up. And it's just like it sounds. You clap, and stuff comes off. So, when they come in with that invention, you want to say, are you insane? Come on. What happens when you go to the school play and they clap at the end? But you don't. I want to say something, and the only thing I can say is, how much money do you have? And if they say we have enough, I go like, well, we should patent this clap-off bra. Let's do it. I can give you guys the patent number after the show. Can I tell you about one more weird patent that I've seen out there? Okay, if you guys aren't, you can just tell me to skip it. But you guys, okay, this is another one. It's a fart pillow. Let me give you the patent name because I don't want you guys to think that we're dumb, but here's the patent name. Apparatus and methods for absorbing odor and providing sound attenuation from a flatus event. Yeah. Be honest, you guys have no idea what I just said, do you? That's the idea, because it's too embarrassing at law firms to be working on stuff like that. Because you know what? Lawyers are mean. I'm not kidding. The other lawyers just brag. They're always bragging, like, oh, we were down at a hearing arguing in front of a judge about some constitutional issue. What did you do, Wes? We're working on a fart pillow invention. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pillow with a canister in it, and then let's say you're feeling a bunch of flatulence coming on, you basically just sit on the pillow, do it into the pillow, and then here's the cool thing. People can't hear it, and the odor is attenuated. I don't have a lot of friends at the law firm. Yeah. So I am, middle-aged, and I've been trying to get into shape. So I've been working out with weights a lot, doing a lot of weightlifting. And it's affected me in different ways. I can tell that I'm getting stronger. My circulation's in better. It's also made me just a little bit gay. Just like a tiny bit. I don't know how or when, but I've just noticed, okay, let's say, if a big muscly guy walks into a room, that is all I can think about. Did you see that guy? his back looks like a V. Like I have to, and I just keep my eye on him. Like, well, those are probably 18-inch guns. Would you look at them? I can even be on a date with my wife, okay? And I can see that she's talking to me because her mouth is moving, but all I can think about is, did you see this muscly guy over here? He is so buff. I've got to get over there. And I always make my way over, and I say the same thing every time, which is, hey man, do you work out? You look like you work out. And what that really means is I've been over here admiring your body, and I like what I see. And I'd really like to talk to you about your body if we can. And if I'm being honest, since it's just us, sometimes I would like to talk about my body with another man. Why do you think I'm working out 6 days a week in the weight room? Okay, I need somebody to ask me, do you work out or anything? Just like if you work out a lot and nobody says anything, I don't even know if it's worthwhile, really? But the other day I thought, finally, it's gonna happen, finally. So I was at the bench press, because I do a lot of benching. And this other guy was at the squat rack, okay? And I looked over at him, and he looked back at me, and our eyes met. And I couldn't look away, and neither could he. So we were like locked in some kind of, gaze. I swear to you, I never say gaze, and it just came out right there. Like, we were stuck in a situation where we were looking at each other. Gaze works better. But anyway, so we were looking at each other, and then he started walking towards me. I was like, holy crap. I swear to you, everything went in slow motion. Is that how it is? I don't know. And he walked over, and he got to me, and he said, hey, man, I see you here a lot working out. I'm like, yeah. I don't want to be too forward or make you uncomfortable, but... And then he pulls out his card, and he hands me his card. I'm like, is this how it happens? I'm so excited. And then I got his card, and I looked at it, and it said, hair restoration specialist.